Yes, people, what's happening? Back with another episode of Let the Punk Talk. Today, we're just going to focus on mainly the lightweight division because a lot's been going on with Gervonta Davis defending his world title, George Kambosos losing the unification fight against Devin Haney. We'll start with Gervonta Davis. About what was it, 2 weeks ago now? He had a very good stoppage against a relatively decent opponent. He beat the guy he fought before. He beat that Anthony, what's his name, the French fella that had the really bad eye injury.
No idea.
Oh, but yeah, him anyway. So he was obviously relative. It's probably one of Gervonta Davis's like best wins of his career. I think he's got the out of all the lightweights. I'd say Gervonta Davis has the most padded record so far out of all of them.
More so than, well, I suppose not even Lomachenko. Right.
Lomachenko's got the best by far.
He's what?
He's got the best record by far.
Who's Javante?
No, Lomachenko.
Oh, padded. Sorry, I got that the wrong way round. I would say Ryan Garcia's got the most.
Oh yeah, but
He's done.
he did beat Luke Campbell, which was in my opinion like a very very good win.
It's a good win, but Luke Campbell weren't. No, that shot don't stop Luke Campbell 2 years before. Do you know what I mean? He was old, Luke Campbell. I know. What was he? 33.
Yeah,
And I'm a big Luke Campbell fan, but I can't stand Ryan Garcia, mate. I've just he just dodges every fight. Do you know what I mean? Like he goes around talking shit to everybody. Like he bets. Who was it the other week? He backed that bloke that Javante lost to win 20 grand with Errol Spence.
yeah,
Like he just was never going to beat Gervonta Davis. Like
yeah.
yes, he's got a padded record, but he's unbelievable.
Mm.
And if he signs with Eddie Hearn, he'll become a global superstar.
Oh yeah, of course he will.
Arguably the best in the division if he goes the right path. But yeah, Ryan Garcia, mate. I think if Maxi had got the fight with Ryan, I think Maxi would have beat him as well. Because I just think Maxi's a better boxer. Ryan's all right, but he needs to step up now. You know, this Fortuna fight ain't a step up. He should have took the Maxi fight, and I mean, they didn't offer Maxi any money at all really to fight him. But people,
I don't really know what's going on with Ryan Garcia. Like he was in the position to fight Devin Haney after he beat Luke Campbell, like mandatory to get like 2 world titles on the well, not to get a world title shot. And then he was like, no, I don't want to fight him. I want to fight Gervonta Davis. And the Gervonta Davis fight never happened. And then he goes away and he's like, I'm not fighting anyone else unless I fight Gervonta. And then he fights some guy I've never heard of, and then backs out of a fight due to like depression or whatever, and then comes back like 2 months later and then just fights someone I've never heard of and just like wipes the floor with them. So yeah, I don't really understand what he's doing.
don't like him at all. Don't like him at all.
But what did you make of the Gervonta Davis fight?
Oh, mate, he's an animal, you know, and the amount of shit he took in the build up to that, like this guy was giving him so much aggro, and he stayed cool right until the weigh-in, didn't he? And then I can't remember the guy's name. He stepped in front of Gervonta on the stage and like tensed, and Gervonta just went fuck off and pushed him off the stage, and he literally did just drop off the front of the stage, which caused a ruck. But I didn't actually. Well, I've seen the knockout, seen the highlights. You know, people are saying, "Oh, he was 6 rounds down or whatever he was." Mate, that knockout was disgusting. The way he just flipped under and then just literally, it weren't even a proper punch. It was just like a half hook. And that just shows the power he's got. He
has got mad power.
Incredible, mate. I think he could. Him and Haney, you imagine they could fight in 10 years' time and it'd still be a fantastic fight because of their ages.
I think Gervonta is the oldest out of all of them. I think he's like 28.
Is he?
Yeah.
I thought he was young.
Well, out of everyone in the lightweight, obviously apart from Lomachenko, they're all like early 20s, but he's like 20. He's the oldest one, I think. I could be wrong. He might be 24, but I'm sure he's 28.
I've got no idea, but yeah, I think he's definitely in the top three in terms of ability wise. You can't argue that.
27 he is.
He's 27.
Yeah.
So he's still got probably 6 years. I don't know anything about him, whether he struggles with weight or anything, but he's another. He don't fight anyone.
Yeah, he doesn't really fight anyone. As I said, he's probably got one of the most padded records, but like he doesn't struggle with weight. Like he's probably one of the most. Terry, could you just touch the pad, please? He's probably one of the most undisciplined fighters I've seen. He's such like a letdown. Like, I don't really know how people look up to him because he misses weight all the time, all the time. Like what was he? He was like a featherweight a couple of years ago, wasn't he? And he just kept missing weight. Then he moved up, missed weight. Then he's moved up to lightweight, missed weight, and he's fought at super lightweight. He's just undisciplined. He's not like. I mean, he is a great athlete, but he's not a dedicated proper athlete.
Yeah, he needs to set it if he wants to unify and do undisputed and all that. 'Cause he is a world champion, isn't he? He's WBA.
Yeah, but he's not the super, which is the one
Regular.
Yeah, he's a regular. Yeah.
I don't really. It's the same as we have this conversation about the IBO. Is it a world champion? Yes, it's classed as it, but he's not. For me, a world champion is WBA, IBF, WBC, WBO. But if he wants to crack on and win belts, then he needs to just stay out of camp and stay in camp. Sorry, in between fights and just get that level of fitness. You look at people. You look at Razor, for instance, your teammate. He's always at the weight. Maxi Hughes, he's always training because you can get that call to say, look, Maxi said yesterday on a podcast, I don't know what one it was. He said, I'm still in the gym because that Fortuna could get injured or Ryan could get injured in camp and they're going to call me. And that's the mindset, not just for that mindset of I could have a fight. It's I want to be in the best condition I can. You look at your camp at the minute. Kieran started you straight in 8 weeks out as if you're on the week before fight week,
Yeah.
But that means in 6 weeks' time, when it comes to being 3 weeks out or 2 weeks out, you're going to be fucking ready to go.
Mm.
And that's the way, in my eyes, you've got to be, because there's no good ballooning up outside of camp. Because what does that? It just makes it harder for yourself. If I was a professional boxer, as much as I'd like to, after the fight, have a few beers and eat a curry or whatever, you then got to think, shit. And Bellew was one of them. One of the biggest reasons he retired was because camps were killing him.
Mm.
And I'm not saying he didn't live the life outside of it, but camp's going to hurt anyone. But like you said, if you want to do things, you've got to be disciplined whilst you're active, I believe.
100%, mate. But moving on from Gervonta, obviously away from the lightweights as well. Joe Cordina the other day had an incredible knockout. I know you watched the fight. Like, obviously, talk me through the whole fight,
mate. I messaged you, didn't I, when it happened, and I was like, "Holy fucking shit!" Like, look, Cordina has always been good. Yeah, he was Olympic gold. He's risen through. He's had a few. I didn't realise he's 30 years old. I thought he was like my age, like 28. Yeah. He's old. Nothing wrong with 30-year-olds, by the way. Mm-hmm. But he, the first round come out, and obviously Rod was saying to me about it because Rod was down in Wales. Like, is it a tough fight? And I said, look, this Agawa is known to knock people out. He doesn't get stopped. He just fucks people up. And in my mind, it was if Cordina wins, he's just going to school him for 12 rounds and get a 9-3 win, 10-2 win, whatever. And the first round started and he got caught with a big hook on the top of the head within about 30 seconds. And it was like, oh shit, like this ain't going to be good. But I did give Cordina the first round. And like, when you're watching a fight like that, you kind of you sit back and you're like, right, this is going to be a long old fight. But after the first round, I remember I messaged you and I said, this ain't going the distance.
Yeah.
Like, they're both coming in big. And mate, that knockout, he didn't throw a punch for about 25 seconds. And then all he did is he feinted to the chest, which made Agawa like kind of dip. And then, well, you've seen it, just bang, straight. And it weren't even like over the top. It weren't underneath. It was just straight down the pipe. And someone laughed at me on Instagram, messaged me and said I was fucking deluded and I don't know nothing about boxing. But you will struggle to see a better knockout than that.
Yeah, mate, it was a fucking great knockout.
It was a heavyweight knockout. It was a one punch bang. And I didn't know he had that power. But look, fair play to Cordina. I do think, he called for the Shakur Stevenson fight to secure his family. I think take your time now, have a mandatory. He's got to have that mandatory. Because I don't know if you know, but after the fight, Eddie Hearn come out because Joe Cordina didn't even know. And the IBF had ruled that Agawa fight someone else is mandatory. Regaya or something. And they went to Tony Sims and Tony was like, you do not tell Joe about this. Like, we need to just get this fight. If Joe finds this out, he won't fight again.
Oh,
but
really?
he's so fixated on this. So 7 weeks out, the IBF, they said, no, he's not fighting Cordina. He's fighting this guy. And DAZN actually paid this guy, the mandatory, to step aside. So, and he found out about it last night in the ring. He was like, you're having a laugh. And he's like, no, it's true. He said the fight was off 7 weeks ago. He's like, but we just didn't tell you. And for 2 weeks, we were trying to make this fight happen. But yeah, I think take the mandatory next. Shakur Stevenson's a silly fight, mate. Shakur Stevenson's incredible again. He's another special talent. But look, Joe Cordina wins a world title in front of his own fans, mate. There's nothing better than that, I suppose.
Yeah, it was amazing. Amazing night to go with an amazing KO.
One more thing on that card, I will say Zelfa Barrett, mate. Zelfa Barrett last night, career best performance. A year to the day that his mum passed away. And he schooled another guy, this Belgian, the European champion, who's known to bowl people out. And again, he just, mate, Zelfa Barrett, he's very underrated, I think. He throws some fucking...
He is good.
Shots. But from the hip, just like uppercut. He threw this uppercut last night. Granted, it didn't hurt the guy, but him versus Cordina is a very good fight. I'm telling you, I think that's close. I don't think that's as wide as people say. I wouldn't be taking that as a voluntary, put it that way. No chance.
I do rate Zelfa Barrett. I think he is good, but I don't know if he's like world level yet. I've seen him.
He's just won the European, isn't he? So
I'd say he's probably at about that level.
So you think add a couple more at that level, defend it?
What's that? Sorry, what was that?
You think Zelfa should stay there for a bit and defend it?
Oh yeah, he should defend it. Work his way up because it was literally weren't that long ago when he fought Kiko Martinez and Kiko Martinez battered him.
Yeah, he did get beaten that night.
Yeah.
And then didn't he fight a year later against? Did you watch it at fight camp? Eric Donovan, the Irishman, and he was like 7 rounds down and then just fucking sparked him clean. Yeah. That wasn't. But then, I suppose, you are right. If he's, I mean, from them 2 fights, he's come on. His last 2 performances have been brilliant. But yeah, I would agree. I think him versus Cordina is good, and that sounds so silly after what I've just said. But if you look at the world champions as well as Cordina, Shakur Stevenson, I couldn't even tell you the rest. But it's a very interesting because didn't Shakur Stevenson just beat Jamal Herring?
Yeah, stopped him as well.
So that tells you everything because he fucked Frampton up, didn't he?
Yeah,
so
Frampton, yeah.
It's interesting.
It is, mate. Yeah. So then, obviously, moving on to the biggest talking point, George Kambosos and Devin Haney. Obviously, you stayed up and watched it. So what happened, mate? Tell us.
I think when we did a podcast with Maxi, we spoke about this and we all agreed that it might be too early for Haney and we all backed Kambosos. But I said all week, didn't I? Like, obviously, we'd been down the gym and I said, I just think Kambosos is a bit too fired up. Whether it's because it's in his home country and it's the first time he's defending in his own country. I just thought all week he was so angry. Like when he missed the weight, and then they said to him, and then he made it. Was that a tactic? Art of work, mate. Art of work. It's like just shut up. Like I like George Kambosos, but he just needs someone to inject him with something the week of the fight because he's so riled up, and he always. Like, I get that fighters are angry. This is it, but the actual fight, mate. I mean, Haney, 23 years old, mate. And what he did, that jab, he'd just jab and he was gone. He was out the way, and it weren't a fight. And for a casual, they'd have fucking hated it. But Devin Haney put on a boxing masterclass last night, mate. I think I had it 10-2 in rounds, and that was generous. It's just incredible. And, Kambosos is saying, I want the rematch. Of course, you're going to want the rematch, but I want to see Haney Lomachenko. I think that's a fucking brilliant fight. What do you think of Haney? Do you rate him?
Yeah, I always said, like, wasn't it me, you, and Jack were talking, and I was like, I think Haney. I think Haney will win. I was like, I love Kambosos, but I'd love him to win, but I just think Haney's just a much better boxer. But it was one of them. Like my heart was like, yeah, Kambosos, he's gonna do it, but like my head was just like that. Haney's gonna do it. But yeah, I do proper rate Haney. I mean, how can you not? As you said, he's 23. He's just unified the division at 23 years of age, which is probably it must be some kind of record.
It's got to be up there, but it's not even just like it's the division he's in as well.
Yeah, he's in. Don't care what anyone says. He's in the best division in boxing.
How would you rank the top 5? This will be interesting.
I do not care. I still think Lomachenko is number 1. I mean, I know he lost to Teofimo Lopez, but I truly think rematch he schools him, again. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure the fight was even close. Like, it was very close, and he had like an injured shoulder. But
Yeah,
that
he did
just wasn't.
have a shoulder.
Yeah, it just wasn't the same Lomachenko that we are accustomed to seeing. And I just believe he beats him, and I believe he beats everyone. And I don't just believe he beats them. I just believe he beats them with ease as well. So yeah, I'd say Lomachenko. Then I'd say Devin Haney. Um, I would. I would just say Camboas would be third because of his record, like, and what he's done. He's done it the hard way, gone to everyone's backyard and beaten everyone. And then I would probably say Lopez and then Davis. And I'm only saying Davis at number 5 just because I just think out of everyone, he's got the worst resume out of them 5. Like, he's not. There's not one win in Davis's whole career where I look at and think that was an amazing win. Like, there isn't. Like, he beat his best win was probably that guy he just beat, or maybe even Leo Santa Cruz. But Leo Santa Cruz is not a lightweight.
No.
Leo Santa Cruz started at my weight class, super flyweight, and I think the best he was probably the best he could have went to was at was at featherweight. His best of his career was probably at super bantam, and the best he could go to was probably featherweight. To be fair, I think he did win a world title at super feather, but he didn't stick around for long, and most of his losses have come after he's left super bantamweight. So yeah, okay, it's a good win, but you're not fighting a legit lightweight.
So do you think Garcia, not Garcia, do you think Tank loses to Cambosos?
Just, I don't know. Like, again, this is one of them things. I just fucking love like George Cambosos. Like, I absolutely love the ground he walks on. Like, it's just one of them, and I think my love for him just overclouds my judgment. But yeah, but again, this is what I mean. I say that though, but Cambosos beat the man. Yeah, he beat Teofimo Lopez, who beat the man. So Teofimo Lopez become the man, and he went to his backyard and beat the man. And obviously now Devin Haney beat the man who beat the man who beat the man. You know what I mean? So out of them 3, so Lomachenko had the right because of everyone he'd beaten. Then Teofimo had the right because he beat the man, and then obviously George Kambosos had the right because he beat Lopez in his home crowd, and now obviously Devin Haney's earned the right to be number 1 because he's beat the man in the home crowd and unified the whole division. But as I keep saying, Davis hasn't, in my opinion, he's not even been tested yet. Like, so how can you go on and say he's this good when you don't know? Like, at least I know that Cambosos has come over to England and beat Lee Selby in well, not necessarily his home ground, but in British territory, and then went over to America and beat Teofimo Lopez for 3 world titles, and then obviously, yeah, he lost his last fight, but now he's fought Devin Haney, so he's fought the two number 1s in the division, and a half decent opponent in Lee Selby, who was a former world champion but down at featherweight. So, I can say that Gampoas has been tested multiple times now and come out on top on 2 occasions out of 3. But I can never say that about Davis.
So who did you put up for?
Lopez.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, I agree. I think Lomachenko, Haney. Then it's hard. So I would go with Gervonta. I know obviously he hasn't fought anyone, but you can see the skills he's got. I would put him in at 3, and then I would put Lopez. Do I want to put Lopez? See, it's hard then because I think there's 3. I think Lopez. See, because Cambosos beat Lopez this thing, but do I think that Lopez is a better boxer? I don't know. But then
Lopez is a better boxer, but Gamboa's just had that gritty will and determination to win.
See, this thing, I think that Lee Selby beat Kambosos, but it was close. But then I think that Maxi beats Kambosos. Do you know what I mean? So I think people underestimate Maxi's boxing ability. You know, he
Maxi's class.
this is what I mean. So I'd stick with the. Oh, see, it's hard. Lomachenko, Haney, Lopez, not Lopez, Garcia, not Garcia. What's his name? Fucking Tank Davis in third, and then I honestly, because then you got the Ryan Garcia argument. I'd go Lopez for beating Lomachenko in fourth, and then I would go Maxi. I might be biased there, but I think that, you know, I'd like to see Maxi fight. I feel sorry for Maxi, obviously, with this Ryan Garcia thing, and now there's not really a fight out there, you know, because Lomachenko ain't going to fight Maxi because there's nothing on the line to fight him with. Tank, maybe, I don't know. He ain't going to leave America though. Little playboy Mayweather boy, isn't he? It's just a brilliant division, mate, and I don't think there's a division that's close to it.
There's not. It's the best division in boxing by a country mile. I don't even think
they know about it.
Huh?
The casuals won't watch.
They don't. I don't think there's a division that even comes close. Like, don't get me wrong, yeah, the heavyweight division gets so much praise, but I think it's so shit. Like, the standard in it is so bad, and I will argue that to death to be part. Like, it's so bad, and even Tyson Fury used to say it all the time. And I know people probably thought he was chatting shit, but he was like, he used to say all the time, if I can't beat these bums, then I might as well retire. And it's so true though, because he made them look so average, all of them, and they were like, they're just not on. They were not on the level of like these guys. Like, I wouldn't even put the heavyweight. Like, how many divisions are there? Like 16, 18?
Yeah.
Like, the heavyweight probably wouldn't even make my top 10. Like,
really?
It's just not full of class. Like, if you go look at the world champion, even at the lighter weights, like the world champions at the lighter weights are so class. Like, look at who's the monster, the Chinese fella that just bangs everyone out.
Niue.
Yeah, Niue. Look at Niue. No one can touch Niue. And then you think, and then that division had Ryan Burnett, who was absolutely sensational, but like got injured, and it had Dante Donaire, who's still around and still like a world class fighter. Like, mate, the heavyweights don't have them. They don't.
Super flyweights. Look at who the new Southern Area champion's going to be at super flyweight.
Yeah, exactly, mate. They just don't have that standard. They don't have it.
But no, I agree. I think it's just the entertainment in the heavyweight division, isn't it? It's, you know,
the one punch knockout thing.
Yes, watching it, you know, like if you watch an AJ fight, you pretty much know it's going to be bloody, and it's going to be, you know, you watch a Fury fight, you know that it's going to be a masterclass. It's just, but this is what annoys me with boxing, you know, and when you go to, especially to like York Hall, and you know, you get a lot of people that go there just to support their friends, and then you get into a conversation with someone at the bar, and they just talk so much shit. But I always go back to when I went there on November the 27th, and you had just boxed, and me, Rod, and that were watching Mark versus that Aussie Jervy, and this bloke went, "These two are right for featherweights, aren't they?" And he'd been talking shit for like 20 minutes. Yeah. Like from the end of yours into Mark's. It's like 3 rounds into a 6 round. He just went, "They're all right for featherweights, mate. These two are quite heavy." And I was like, just go away. And before, when I used to go to boxing, no one ever spoke to me, because obviously I was just there in like my since like now I wear, like same with you, I wear your shirt. Someone will, "Oh, do you know Jack?" Or, "Oh, you're in the Marks." Yeah. "Oh, you do merch. Do you speak to fighters?" Yeah, I do. "Oh, what do you think?" It's like, fucking hell, mate, just leave me alone. Do you know what I mean? Like, I like having a chat with people. I'm very friendly, but when people talk bollocks, mate, it just does my head in.
Oh, mate, I've been there hundreds of times, and I'm sure I'll be there hundreds of more times.
It must be worse for you because you're a bloody boxer. I mean, I don't know. I know a bit about boxing, but for you, it gets in there and just, mate. There was this. I remember it when I used to work. There was this, like, I can't say where, but this guy just used to talk to me every Monday after a show, and like it was after Klitschko Joshua. He went, "Well, I had Joshua down at the knockout," and I was like, "Klitschko was on his ass 4 times in the fight, so that's 4 10-8 rounds, or 3 10-8 rounds it was." I said, "That's just not possible, mate. Like, shut up. You know, just keep quiet." And there was one time when I actually said to him, "Look, me and you ain't going to talk about boxing no more. Like, we will not talk about boxing no more." And it was after Lawrence Okoli versus Isaac Chamberlain. And he said, what an absolute war. I was there. I said, that is quite possibly, with all due respect to the two guys, the worst fight I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was a terrible fight.
And I just said to him, from now on, mate, unless it's a knockout, you just talk about the knockout. If it goes, do not talk to me because you talk rubbish. Do you know what I mean? And it's timing beats speed. It's like, well, it definitely doesn't, mate. Like, how can, like I said to him, explain to me how timing can beat speed in a boxing match. Because if you time that punch, I said, and he's quicker than you, he'll fucking smash you down the face. I said, so keep quiet. But that's, I don't know how I've got onto that, but yeah.
I don't know, mate. But timing does beat speed.
Was it?
Huh?
Speed beats timing.
No, timing beats speed.
No, he used to say speed beats timing. Sorry, yeah, you're right. He used to say that speed beats timing. No, I've got that the wrong way around. I know I look like a prick. No, I'm right. You're right, but he was wrong. Yeah. But anyway, yes, let's move on. I want to quickly mention, actually, how is it going for you?
Yeah, mate, good. Like, the first week of camp was always obviously the worst, and I've got through it now. It was quite brutal, to be honest. Like, it was so brutal that I actually ended up missing a whole day. Like, when I was with you that day, like, mate, I don't know where the day went. When we was like talking about doing something on Saturday or something, and I was like, yeah, well, just get Friday out the way. And you're like, Jack, it is Friday, and I was like, what are you talking? No, it's not. It's not. I was like, it's not Friday. Like, I don't know where that day went, mate, but that was how brutal the week was. Like, I had my whole week just messed up. Like, I was a day behind. I mean, a day in front, apparently. Like, yeah, it was a brutal week, but yeah, I feel really in like a good place, man. I feel really strong. I feel really fit. I feel like I'm ahead of where I need to be at the moment, which is nice. And yeah, like not a worry, but the only thing I need to work on now is just like, getting the weight off, which it has been coming off. I lost like 3 kilos in the first week or something. So there's still a bit of a way to go, but yeah, I'm in a happy, good place, mate.
What is it? Is it 6 weeks this Saturday?
Coming. 7. Oh yeah, the Saturday coming. Yeah, will be 6.
It's 7 weeks yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you'll be fine, wouldn't you? And he's started you off hard, as we mentioned earlier, haven't we? He hasn't kind of bled you in lightly. He's kind of, let's fucking go.
Yeah, he is, mate. Yeah, he wants me to be as fit as I'm ever going to be. He's just like, yeah, he's putting me through my paces.
Maybe he's realised you're a bit older now and you might need a bit more work.
Yeah, maybe.
Being 30, there's not many 30-year-olds that can do what you do. There's like that bloke in the gym, wasn't it? Got carried to the ring after he'd finished.
Yeah.
Bless him. But no, mate, yeah, I think, like I said to you the other day, I think you look sharp already. Like, even Kieran looked round to me, he said, what do you think? And I said, fucking hell, it's like he's been in camp 6 weeks. He's over the moon with you. And obviously, like he said, mate, there's no way you're not coming out that ring that night the champion.
Yeah.
But we cannot tag and the new on anything because that's a burden.
Which mate, we'll stay away.
let's just wait until the night and then say it.
Yeah, exactly.
But anything else from you, mate?
No, I think that's it. I think we covered all the ground that we needed to. So yeah, we'll end it there. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next week for another episode of Let the Punk Talk. Peace.